All right, y'all. So we are here to do another prediction video for UFC Fight Night Vegas. Steve Garcia versus David Onama. Both guys are on a good win streak right now. David Onama, I think, is on a 4-fight win streak. Steve Garcia is on a five or six fight win streak. 5-fight win streak. He just beat Calvin Kattar. David Onama just beat Giga Chikadze. Two guys that are kind of on the tail end of their career anyway. So now they are two young lions stepping in to see who's ready for the top 10. We're going to start with the prelims, and we're going to go all the way down, all the way through the main event of the evening. So, guys, we are going to start with. Oh, wait, hold on one second. We're going to start with the first fight of the night. We have Talita Alencar versus Ariane Carnelossi. Ariane Carnelossi is a quitter. She fought Pia Rodriguez and quit in that fight. So going into the fight, I picked Ariane Carnelossi to win the fight because Ariane Carnelossi, she is known for power, known to be big, strong, physically imposing. She's bigger than Pia Rodriguez. I'm thinking she's gonna go in there and beat her up. Pia Rodriguez is literally piecing her up, throwing her around the octagon, out grappling her, taking her down, all the above. Gets her in like a dominant like half guard or a mount position, and they clash heads. And Ariane Carnelossi milks it and wins the fight by DQ in the second round. One of the most disgusting displays of fighting I've ever seen in my life. It was absolutely disgusting. Okay. And Ariane Carnelossi, I should never pick you ever again, but I'm gonna pick you tonight because you are the bigger, stronger woman. You are bigger than Talita Alencar. Talita Alencar, she's good at grappling and submissions. She's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion, I think multiple times, in fact. Doesn't have any submissions in the UFC, but in Titan FCs where she used to fight, she fought a woman named Karen Quintero, and she got a rear naked choke inside like 2 minutes. She's known for her cardio and pressure versus Vanessa Demopoulos. She utilized that cardio and pressure to overwhelm her, land ground and pound on her, and just dominate her for 3 rounds. Her pace, and her pace really so she marches forward. Very Jessica Andrade-esque, except she doesn't throw punches like that. She doesn't have punching power like that, right? Even late in fights, she has the same aggressions. Very aggressive, push forward style. She's a terrible striker, though. Very terrible striking. Just throws the same shot over and over again. Carnelossi isn't much different, to be honest. The difference is Carnelossi has power, though, and Carnelossi has the ability to submit you. More ability, in my opinion. I think Talita Alencar versus Stephanie Luciano. We saw Stephanie Luciano keep her at range and piece her the fuck up for the entire fight. Just piece her up the entire fight. Carnelossi just struggles with, or Alencar, I'm sorry. Alencar struggles with rangier fighters that actually know how to strike, because more times than not, she's overextended to get to them because she's only 5'1". She's only 5'1". She's short, she's compact, and I think Carnelossi, being the bigger woman, is just gonna beat her up, man. Just gonna beat her up. Carnelossi, she has some power. Na Liang, she was able to ground and pound KO Na Liang. Talita, what's the other good woman's name that she submitted? Estela Nunez. She won by a rear naked choke late. She lost to Lupi Godinez, so she struggles with actual people that know how to strike as well. Like, so Pia Rodriguez knows how to strike. Lupi Godinez knows how to strike. The thing is, Carnelossi's a big, strong woman. I think she's going to win this fight just by being the bigger, stronger woman. Both are going to press forward. Both are going to try and impose their will. I think Carnelossi has this one. We got Phil Rowe versus Seokhyon Ko. Seokhyon Ko is going to be aggressive. He fights out of that southpaw stance. He has KO power. He does. He hasn't KO'd anybody in the UFC, but he's only fought Oban Elliott. Aggressive, forward pace. He doesn't wait. He's like immediately under pressure. Very confident fighter. He, again, like I said, Oban Elliott's not like terrible. Very good movement. Oban Elliott has very good movement. And Seokhyeon Ko was able to kind of kind of cage cut, impose his will on Oban Elliott and beat him, by unanimous decision. Um, Impatient, overextends, and I can see. Listen, Phil Rowe has an 80-inch reach, 9-inch reach advantage on Seokhyeon Ko, 9-inch reach advantage on Seokhyeon Ko. He has very limited experience, Seokhyeon Ko, in the UFC. Very limited experience. Um, so that those are all things that could hurt him. But the thing is which Phil Rowe are we gonna see? The Phil Rowe that fought Neil Magny, who didn't want to throw anything, or the Phil Rowe that beat Angelusa, who knocked him out in the third round, or the Phil Rowe that KO'd Nico Price. Phil Rowe has quite a few TKOs on his record. He has like 4 or 5 on his UFC record. So I'm hoping that that's the Phil Rowe that goes in there and is aggressive. He doesn't have the movement that Oban Elliott does. So yeah, no, it's an interesting one, man. It's an interesting one because it really depends on which Phil Rowe we see in there, and I am gonna go ahead and pick. It's a very tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and pick. I think that Seokhyeon Ko is gonna have Phil Rowe on the back foot. I think he's gonna have him on the back foot. I do think that Phil Rowe is hittable as well. Um, I do think Phil Rowe, if he lets his hands go, he's a 9-inch reach advantage. Should win this fight. I just don't think he will. I just don't think he will. He was getting taken down and controlled by Anjusa. Anjusa dropped him. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I know I'm gonna regret this. I feel like, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick Seokhyeon Ko. Not confident, but I'm gonna pick Seokhyeon Ko by second round TKO. Alice Ardelean versus Montserrat Ruiz. Montserrat Ruiz. She's short. She's very similar to what's that young lady's name that we just talked about? Lord have mercy. Versus Alencar, Talita Alencar. She's very similar to Talita Alencar in the sense that she's 5 foot. She blitzes forward. She does not sugarcoat anything. She's trying to come in and finish. Um, and she's very very aggressive. She's looking to try and impose her wrestling and grappling. She has a powerful grappling base. Known for she likes to use that head and arm position to drag women to the floor and get into dominant positions. We saw her do that versus Cheyenne. Lisma is in her UFC debut. She has relentless pressure, constantly moves forward, applies physical. Tries to impose her strength, and this is similar to Alencar. Very similar. She is fighting Alice Ardelean, and Alice Ardelean's not very good, man. Neither's Montserrat Ruiz. She gets knocked out by everyone. Amanda Lemos knocked her out badly. She just gets knocked out by pretty much everyone that she's fought. Who else has she fought again? She had uh goodness gracious. Um she fought Amanda Lemos. There's another name. Damn it, I have to look. I have to cheat. So she fought. Yeah, Eduarda Mora, another big woman. Jacqueline Amorum, who somehow got a TKO. That must have been a ground and pound. Had to have been, because Jacqueline Amorum has zero striking ability. But so she's fighting. So she's been knocked out quite often. Montserrat Ruiz, but she's fighting Alison Arlene, who's kind of well-rounded. She has TKO victories, but she's also like 1-3, 1-2 in her UFC career. You know what I mean? She doesn't have any wins in the UFC. She beat Rayanne Dos Anjos, but who hasn't? She lost to Melissa Martinez, and yeah. So I just think that Montserrat Ruiz is too chinny. I think that literally anything will knock this woman out, to be honest. Even those the women that are knocking out are big, strong women. But Jacqueline Amorum knocks you out, dude. It had to have been a ground and pound. I'm not really sure how that fight went, but it had to have been ground and pound because Jacqueline Amorum has very good grappling ability. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Alice Ardelean isn't very good either, man. Um, good grapple. Both women are try to grapple. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Alice Ardelean just because Montserrat Ruiz is terrible. Like she's fucking terrible. So I'm just gonna pick her. Pick Alice Ardelean just because like I just want to pick the less terrible woman to be honest. The lesser of two evils. So on to the next, we got Ketlen Vieira versus Norma Dumont. This is gonna be a good women's fight. Ketlen Vieira, she didn't get finished by Kayla Harrison, which is like pretty good. That's really good. Um, Kayla Harrison's a very big, strong woman that's finished quite a few women now. She's finished quite a few women now, and she's monstrous for the division. So if she's not getting finished by, if she's surviving that and actually doing well, so she was landing punches in the fight. She made it a scrap. It was actually a good fight, to be honest. Stuffing takedowns, surviving bad positions. You know, um, so Ketlen Vieira, she is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a black belt and a Judo black belt. She loves trips. She loves the clinch. She loves. She's um, very good grappling overall in all scenarios. Right in the clinch, again the strong trips, sweeps. Body control, the body lock. She's very, very effective in getting dominant position on the ground, getting top position, maintaining control on the ground, strong takedown defense. Like I said, she utilized versus Kayla Harrison. She's very difficult to take down, and we know Norma Dumont's a big woman. You know, um, she's very, very good at reversing position. Look, Ketlen Vieira is good, man. Ketlen Vieira is good. She can absorb big shots. I think she's gonna eat a lot of big shots. Norma Dumont likes to utilize elbows, especially in the clinch. Both of these women are exceptional in the clinch. Norma Dumont with that Muay Thai style likes to throw those elbows inside the clinch. Those short strikes, those short powerful strikes, you can generate a lot of power on the inside. Norma Dumont, but Ketlen Vieira, she does have a good IQ. She doesn't rush. She stays composed, even when she's getting brutalized and she's like being dominated by a man-woman in Kayla Harrison. Um, she's not the fastest though, right? She's not the fastest. Listen, this is gonna be a good fight right here. Norma Dumont is she's a Muay Thai base, good counter striking, um, good takedown defense, high skill in stand up fighting, sharp jabs, side leg kicks. I think she's like 9-1. She's won 8 of her 9 UFC. She's won 8 of her 9 UFC fights so far. She's only lost to Macy Chasson. Um, Norma Dumont's good, man. She is very good. She is very physically strong. Again, she likes to work in that clinch, hard to take down. She also utilizes great fight IQ. She's able to adjust her game plan mid fights. You know what I'm saying? So she's not just gonna be, to lose to somebody that's one dimensional, effective in the pocket. Like I said, Norma Dumont is, in my opinion, another woman that could probably give Kayla Harrison a little bit of a test. It's surprising that it took this long for them to get her to the belt. To be honest, she's on like since her loss, I think she's won like 6 in a row or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's very surprising, but yeah. She doesn't really wrestle, which I don't think is a good idea because Ketlen Vieira, the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is not something, but I think she has the ability, Norma Dumont, to stay upright, to avoid a takedown. Will she get taken down? Probably. We saw her beat up a takedown artist in Aspen Ladd. She was able to stuff takedowns. She was able to control that fight. Daniel Wolf, same thing. You know, Rosa, same thing. And she's staying composed while doing this. Just beating these women up. She's one of the few women when she's done with fights, you see blood. There's damage. Yeah, so Norma Dumont's I think Norma Dumont's pretty good, man. I'm gonna pick Norma Dumont to win by decision. Both women are very good. I think this is going to be one of the better women's fights we see this year. Donte Johnson versus Sedriques Dumas. Sedriques Dumas is garbage. Donte Johnson's a powerhouse, man. He's a powerful, powerful guy. Explosive finisher. He's a ton of first round KOs. Right? None of them are in the UFC, but you know, the boy can crack. I watched him fight a James Ford where picked him apart, stumbled him all over the place the entire first round, and gets a late first round KO. He drops and destroys Darian Abbey in the first round, and these are guys that he's fighting in on the regional scene. But still, the fact that he can generate as much power as he can versus a Sedriques Dumas who we know doesn't like to get hit. We saw him versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk defending with his hands out in front of him and his head down. You know what I mean? Sedriques Dumas' chance to win this fight, he has to dive at the legs right away, try and get takedowns immediately into the fight. Like, do not let this guy hit you. He's a tank of a human being. Sedriques Dumas needs to get this fight to the ground immediately and utilize that grappling ability that he has. We saw him do that versus Dennis Tululin, who I thought was going to knock him out, but he was able to utilize the uh, the grappling in that fight to well effect to keep himself safe. You know what I mean? So, is there a path to victory for Sedriques Dumas? Maybe, because we don't know much about Donte Jones. We really don't know much about his fights, because his fights are usually short. Donte Johnson, his fights are usually shorter because he knocks everybody out in the first round. And we just don't have any. He hasn't had one fight in the UFC yet, so that's where I think that Sedriques has a chance, but I just don't see him winning this fight in any way, shape, or form. Changho Lee versus Timmy Cuamba. Changho Lee is good, man. His fight versus Xiao Long was a very good fight to watch, back and forth. It's a war pretty much. Both guys were grappling, both guys were striking. Changho Lee has great he's technical, he's accurate. He has clean, precise striking that he used to KO Brandon Ramos. He has great timing. He has great feints. He's very, very good, man. Versus Xiao Long, he did the same thing, but Xiao Long brings the fight. Xiao Long is a good fighter. He's great at fighting opens. He counters when guys overcommit. He's calm. The funny thing about it is he does all this. He's very calm under pressure. When he is fighting, you do not see a rattled, frazzled guy in there. Very calm under pressure. Great fight IQ. We don't know much about his grappling game, but we did see him versus Xiao Long utilize the grappling. That was a great fight, So he's fighting Timmy Cuamba. Timmy Cuamba's not bad, but Timmy Cuamba, he's just not that good, man. You know what I mean? Balaji Oki just kind of controlled the distance, controlled the pace. He controlled the fight. He imposed his will. He used his jab. He was the more powerful striker in the fight. Sean Soriano, Timmy Cuamba was able to beat him in that fight, but it wasn't anything special. Sean Soriano is not very good. Danny Silva also showed Timmy Cuamba levels, but Danny Silva's very good. You know what I mean? So it's like when he fights threatening opposition, he doesn't show up. You know what I mean? And you could see him start to wilt in the Balaji Oki fight. You saw it in the Danny Silva fight. You started to see it. And I think you're gonna see it in this fight too. I think if for me, I'm gonna go Chang Ho Lee, and I'm gonna say Changho Lee by, I'm gonna say late second round, KO. Kevin Christian versus Billy Elekana. Kevin Christian, man, rangy guy. He's 6'7" with an 80-inch reach. Okay, that should tell you all you need to know right there. 6'7" with an 80-inch reach. It's madness. Okay, you know, I don't think he has any. So we saw him fight on the Contender Series versus Francisco Mazio, where he submitted him with a arm triangle. I think. I think it was an arm triangle or a triangle choke. Yeah, it was a triangle choke. Yeah, he submitted with a triangle choke in the Contender Series. He has a bunch of quick KOs. Most of his fights have ended in the first round by KO submission. He's very, very good. He does have one loss by KO early in his career, and the guy was able to get on the inside like a Francisco Mazio was. And I do think that you know, if he allows Billy Elekana to get in, because Billy Elekana has some power in there. He has some speed. He's a little explosive. Could he get on the inside? Yes, but I don't think he is, man, because this guy is just special. I do think that Kevin Christian should win this fight by KO. I'm gonna pick him by third round KO. I think the third round's gonna come or submission. Let's pick him by second round submission. That's what I'm gonna do. Second round submission. I think that Kevin Christian is gonna be pretty special if he bulks up and he gets stronger, right? To be able to maintain control of the space in the octagon, the range. I think that will help him a lot in his career. Okay, so I do want to see him get a little bit stronger, put some muscle on his bones. He's a little skinny, I want to see him put on some muscle. I think he'll have a lot of success moving forward in his career. On to the next, we have Allan Nascimento versus Rafael Esteban. This fight is about to be a banger, man. So listen, Allan Nascimento we saw beat Rafael Filho. Yeah, Rafael Filho is a beast. He just beat Clayton Carpenter in the first round by like a Kimura, I think it was. So Rafael Filho is Allan Nascimento is very, very good, but so is Rafael Esteban, man. Both guys are elite at grappling. Allan Nascimento, I know he's a BJJ black belt. Rafael Esteban, he's beaten guys like Jesus Aguilar. Charles Johnson's a great win. He beat Felipe Punez. So all these grapplers he's beating. These are good black belts that he's beating. And he's controlling them in the wrestling. He's pretty dominant in his fights. They're going to unanimous decision. So I'd like to see him trying to kind of get better at ground and pound. His ground and pound is pretty awful, actually. So I'd like to see him get better there. But I do think that Rafael Esteban should win this fight by decision. I think both guys are very, very good in the grappling department, so I don't see a submission happening. I think both guys are too good on the ground. So I do think that you'll see Rafael Esteban win this fight by decision. On to the next, we got Daniel Frunza versus Charles Radke. Daniel Frunza. He's a powerful guy. Charles Radke's kill or be killed. Let me just throw that out there right now. The guy either is going to win by submission in the first round, or submission KO in the first round, or lose by KO in the first round. There is no in between with Charles Radke. That's just how it goes down. So we've seen Charles Radke in there with the likes of Mike Malott. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him there with Carlos Prates, Gilbert Urbina. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him with these guys, and they're all all the fights are ending in first round. All of the fights are ending in first round. So this fight's going to be fireworks because the guy, Daniel Frunza, who did he fight again in his first fight? By doctor stoppage, he lost to Reese Mickey. It was Reese Mickey by doctor stoppage. So you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, in that first round, in that fight, he got dropped like 3 times before the fight ended, and then before the first round ended, and then the fight ended. because the doctor stopped the fight in between rounds. My thing is like, the fight got stopped because of his lip looked too damaged. It's like, dude, his lip was split. What are we doing in some of these stoppages, man? I saw a fight where a guy's knee was bleeding, or shin was bleeding too bad, so the fight got stopped. It's like these are like crazy reasons to be stopping fights for doctor stoppage. A lip, a shin. So, but my point being is, even after getting dropped, Daniel Forenza was just still getting back up, right in Reese McKee's face. He actually stunned Reese McKee after getting dropped for like the third times, cracked him and stunned him. So I just think that Charles Radke's chin isn't there, right? I don't think he has a good chin at all. I don't think Daniel Frenza shows the ability to recover, right? Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick Daniel Frenza to win this one by first round KO. Yeah, because I think that he just has more grit. I think both guys are going to come out and press each other, and they're going to be throwing, and someone's going to go down. That's just what I think. I think it's going to be Charles Radke. So Daniel Frunze by first round KO, TKO. On to next. We got Yater Del Valle versus Isaac Dolgarian. Isaac Dolgarian, explosive athleticism. He's an NCAA wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Yater de Emil. He submitted Connor Matthews within 3 minutes with a rear naked choke. He's very athletic, very, very good boxing, very good fast hands. He's very, very, very good. Very strong. He's dangerous in the opening rounds. Yeah, he has natural speed and explosiveness. I'm actually high on Yater de Emil. The Cuban Missile Problem is what they call him. You know what I'm saying? He's agile. I really like him. I think he's going to be good. He has a lot of potential. When he smells blood, he swarms aggressively, man. When you're hurt, he's going to swarm you. So yeah, I mean, you see him in outside of the UFC in some of his fights. I mean, he swarms guys after he sees it hurt. When he smells any blood at all, he's swarming. Very composed. You know what I'm saying? And you can see he's confident out there. He's not panicking. Well-rounded. He can grapple as well. I do think that Isaac Dolgarian does have the grappling advantage though. So listen, Isaac Dolgarian dominated C-Rod on the ground. Now I know that's not like that crazy after C-Rod's been taking some L's, but we know C-Rod as the prospect killer. And C-Rod did beat Isaac Dolgarian, but not before Isaac Dolgarian dominated him in the first round, had his back, was raining down ground and pound, flattened him out, all that, right? Isaac Dolgarian gets an arm triangle victory versus Brendan Marat. He KO'd Francis Marshall in the first round. So, yeah, I just think that he doesn't do well when his wrestling is neutralized. Though anybody that can give him any resistance, you start to see he doesn't do well with that. He's not very good at striking. He's actually got terrible striking. I think that Yater de Emil is the complete opposite of that. And I think Yater de Emil will be able to anti-grapple enough to get a KO victory. I'm saying late first round. Late first round, we'll say Yater de Emil get a first round victory. On to the next one, Themba Garimba versus Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells is good, but he's not. He's explosive early. You know what I'm saying? Themba Garimba, we know he's elite in the sense that, not necessarily elite, but he has good wrestling. We did see Vicente Luque beat him, but Themba Garimba got a win over Ramos Brahimaj, who's on like a career resurgence right now with 3 in a row. That's a good win, Rames Brahimaj. Very good win. Themba Garimba has elite wrestling, great grappling pressure, strong takedown game. You know what I'm saying? He's excellent chaining takedowns. He doesn't stop if he fails. So if he misses a takedown, he's gonna keep going. Good cardio. You know what I'm saying? He very, very, very heavy feint, heavy grappling game, heavy feints and stuff like that. He'll feint takedowns. Yeah, constant pressure. He's not backing up. You know what I'm saying? Like you could see his striking's improved a little bit too as well in his fights. But yeah, he's just a very, very game guy. You know what I'm saying? Very game. Outside of the Vicente Luque fight, where he got, I think it was, he got choked out. I can't remember what choke it was, but he got choked out pretty easily within like the first minute of the fight. Outside of that, he's looked very good. He was on like a 4 fight win streak before he fought Vicente Luque. Um, so Themba Grimbo is good. Jeremiah Wells, yeah, he's explosive. He's explosive. I'll give him that. But it's like my thing is like, dude, when you're fighting, like he had an insane KO versus KO McGee, Court McGee, an insane KO versus Court McGee. Um, you know what I'm saying? Matthew Semmelsberger, but he lost to Carlston Harris. He lost to who was it? The other. He had another loss that was a pretty bad one. Let me look. Um, Jeremiah Wells. So he lost to. Oh yeah, Max Griffin. It's like you're losing to Max Griffin, man. You know what I mean? Max Griffin, that's a bad loss in 2025. You know, so just for that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Themba Garimba. I think Themba Garimba is gonna impose his will on and we've seen Jeremiah Wells gas too later in fights, and I think that Themba Garimba's relentless wrestling style is gonna be too much for him. It's just gonna be a little too much. Ante Delija versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. So God, man, this is a tough one. Both guys are really, really good. I think that Ante Delija is the Ante Delija. The wrestling is what's gonna give him an advantage here. Look, I'm looking at my camera on the screen, so it's like making me take my eyes off. There you go. So I think that Ante Delija has just had a better wrestling base, and I think that he has great power in his hands. He has fast hands. He's very quick, agile, and for a big man. So is Waldo Cortes Acosta, but I just think that Ante Delija, the impact on his punches are gonna show more. Because if you remember, versus Sergey Pavlovich when Waldo Cortes Acosta was fighting him, it was a close fight, but anything that Sergey Pavlovich landed sent Waldo Cortes Acosta flying, is what it seemed like. It just sent him flying. You know what I mean? So I just think that that's going to be the difference. You're going to see the difference in power. Waldo Cortes Acosta has power. He knocked out Ryan Span. You know what I'm saying? He has KO power. But I just think that Ante Delija hits a little bit different. It's a little bit different with Ante Delija, and I think you're going to see that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Ante Delija wins this fight. You know, this is a good time. Heavyweight's looking really good. You have guys like Ante Delija and Waldo Cortes Acosta who can actually move. You know what I mean? Who can actually move for as big as they are, and who can jump over a soda can. And I think that the heavyweight division is looking bright right now. Obviously, Seokhyon showed, that he's still elite. Not saying that he would have won the fight, but he's still showing that he's still very good. I mean, you still got Volkov in there doing his thing. They did, man. Volkov is it's an interesting because it seems like he's just like revamped his game. Beating Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida got cut from the UFC, by the way. If I read that correctly, he got cut from the UFC, which is interesting. He was ranked, and his fighting style is god awful, though, man. For heavyweight, especially. But yeah, it just seems like heavyweights in a good. Walter Walker's out there heel hooking everybody to death. It's just like it looks like heavyweights in a great position right now, and so yeah. Ante Delija has another addition to that. I think Walter Cortes Acosta, man, he's good. I love that he's willing to fight every and anybody. I mean, Sergey Pavlovich is a dangerous fight. Ante Delija is a dangerous fight. These are all very dangerous fights. You even got Derek Lewis. That's getting. He's on a two fight win streak, continuing his KO streak. You know what I'm saying? It's just looking real good at heavyweight right now. So a lot of stories are popping up out of the woodworks. I mean, Alex Pereira is talking about coming up. You still got John Jones making noise, keeping his name in the buzz, not necessarily in the fight game, but in the buzz. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like it. I like it, man. I think that this is gonna be a good fight, though. Listen, I'm not saying. Listen, Waldo Cortes has Acosta has a chin. He was getting cracked by Sergey Pavlovich over and over and over again, and kept fighting. I don't think that Ante Delija is gonna knock him out. I think Waldo Cortes Acosta is good on the feet. He has good footwork. He has good boxing. You know what I'm saying? I think both guys are gonna land. I think that Ante Delija is just gonna land the more damaging shots, giving him the win in this fight. On to the next one. We have Steve Garcia versus David Onama. So this is a fight that will determine who is ready for top 10 opposition. You know, who's ready um for a who is ready for like a Brian Ortega or something like that. Get Brian Ortega out of there. You know what I mean? That's the fight to make next, I think, for whoever wins this one. I do think that David Onama, he's good. He's on a 4 fight win streak. He got a good win against Giga Chikadze. My goodness, Giga Chikadze. A very good win where he had to rally from the first round, losing the first round to winning the second and third. He has good grappling. He has good power. Um, the thing about David Onama, though, is, a lot of his fights go to unanimous decision. He does hurt guys. I think he hurt Giga in his fight. He does hurt guys. He's dropped quite a few guys. He's KO'd Gabriel Benitez. He does have power, but I think Steve Garcia just hits a little differently. You know what I mean? He hits a little differently. He's I think 6 of his last 8 were ended in KO. His fight versus Calvin Kattar didn't end in KO, but he was brutalizing Calvin Kattar. He hit him with a lot of bombs. He marched forward. He was very aggressive. Steve Garcia's style is very, very worrying and concerning because he just marches forward and he tries to knock his opponents out. So his style is worrying and concerning, but I think he's a dog, man. He has great wrestling. He has long arms, and he's very aware when he's in there. He's a very conscious fighter. So I do think that he's very good at pressuring his opponents. He's very good at just getting out of the range of punches. He's very, very good at mixing in takedowns when he has to. You know what I'm saying? The Kyle Nelson KO is a very good one. Seokhyon Acosta, that's a very good win. You know what I mean? For him to get a win over Calvin Kattar, even though both Calvin Kattar and Giga Chikadze are both kind of on the tail end of their careers, still very good wins. If you're a young up and coming fighter, especially when you're looking for the next test. And so I do think that Steve Garcia will win this fight. He's a little bit more, he hits harder, I think, in my opinion. And both guys are very good at the same things. I think that both guys are good grapplers. I think both guys are good anti-grapplers. I think both guys have power. Both guys are very smart fighters. They know how to win. They know what their strengths are. David Onama, he does lean on wrestling a little bit more than Steve Garcia. I think he's going to have to do that. I think he's going to have to lean on the wrestling early. Steve Garcia has great cardio. I don't think that you'll see him slow down. I do think that you saw David Onama slow down a little bit versus Giga and in some of his fights. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Steve Garcia based on that. I think he's just a little bit better than David Onama. Way better on the feet, I think. And I think he's just a little bit better everywhere else. And so, David Onama does have the better submission game, though. So, that can be a thing. But he would have to really get Steve Garcia down and keep him down and control him on the ground to be able to get a submission locked in. I just don't know that he can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Steve Garcia to win this one by TKO. And I'm going to say early third round TKO for Steve Garcia. It's your boy, MMA Mechanic. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, hit the bell icon too. And let me know what you think is next for whoever wins this. We will come out with the what if the underdog wins video tomorrow. Until next time.